all of my lifetime friend of my labor, right? When me hate them? Every single one of my lifetime friend, me I tell about friend them for life. We're friend, we are baby till now. We are friend of labor, right? 99%.
I'm going to have to run now, Mr. Richards.
Yeah, myself to neighbor, thank you for
Good morning. Can we get to normal programming now, please?
One second, Philippine, if I may. Mr. Richards. Mr. Richards.
Yes, Vegas.
Yeah, bless up yourself.
Yeah.
Respect for what you're saying about but you have to really make people understand why you're taking this position now, though. Because I remember say when you and them did good, you know, you sit down and support them, lies them, you know. And them
no, never. I've always called anytime mistake make me call them out.
Take the credit.
Anytime mistake, that is problem I've with them forever since.
No, hold on, listen,
me and them ever good. Me and PMP good. Me and PMP good right now.
You Richard, you make you made a 360. Me I watch it from almost.
Me never. When me used to go at each other,
remember say me argue about names. This one I say, when Mark Golina say, he might go give people flat rate water bill. Remember say all them things they have to flat rate no mean what mean, you know.
Yeah, but me still support it and I agree with it.
So you also sit down with them. You and them when you and them did good and I chew them start
me no enemy in a PMP.
No, because it get overly bearing for you now. So when you realize
because you know what
we're low if event to a man. But this what me say, when me see. Let me tell you what me say. You have taken a 360, brother. Because now we can hold a conversation, bro. That's no.
But ask Chuck and Chopper.
No, we can. So this no, that me sure say. You see, our leopard never change its spot, you know. Because if you are going to tell me, say Dino makes sense, brother. Dino no make no sense, bro. Sea breeze no make no sense. Dino no make no sense.
It makes sense.
See, that's what I tell you, say, you are come on the platform, you know, and I tell you a thing. Zin, but you're still trying to straddle the fence. That's what you're doing, you know. Listen what I do. This way I say, bro. This way I do. You try use some form, you appeal to emotion and make you think, say, oh, yeah, man, you know, no, but brother, you sit down with them. You sit down with them, brother. You sit down with them all the time. Remember saying, bro, we hear caution say, him nah accept no truth, you know, and I saw them start burning out, you know. Because you know, I go around now, and if we were not out here, I put forward the data where you can't challenge. If you challenge the data, you recharge.
Wait a man. Sir Richie got upon this program here. When me go upon platform and say more primers go build in Jamaica and the Jamaican JLP government than on the TMP. Not even labor and me we were labor the eye to that. After Chiga, me alone with about 7 labor. Me always and I years before the by Angel platform.
Richard, don't forget you are the first time. The first time I come across it. The first time I come across you on a platform. Listen. The first time I come across you on a platform, I was on Caution platform, I think, and we are reasonable. We are reasonable about some the commission report.
He listed the retreat. Yeah, that's in a report.
Yeah, we are reasonable about that. Remember saying, bro. Every disrespect what happened that day there, you know. And the man them just start, like we have said earlier, a man start cuss you and start try prove you like you're the enemy, whatever. Remember say you were on these platforms, and I know me realize you, Richard, when we are reasoning, we say, yeah, we don't allow that alone, man. I know you take a 360, but me know say you see, you are just doing this now. You can't come here. So no, you are empty no research. No, but you are empty. No, listen, let me finish, brother. Let me finish. At some point, it gets overbearing for people.
No.
See? And you were going
defend
the only reason why you, Richard.
You gotta stop putting them out because you can't get me to me
No, brother, no, brother. Listen to me, I say, bro. Listen, no. Listen to me, I say. Me not put no word in your mouth. No, me not put word in your mouth. But you let me finish what I'm saying. If you and them did good, bro, you say if you and them did good, brother, me man a plan for why your brother man a tell all about your mother, brother.
That none of it. That none of it. What me tell you?
All right.
Me just make you know so you can't fool everybody, bro.
Mr. Richards, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you again, Mr. Neighbor.
Great. Fantastic. Jamaica girl, can you take Mr. Richards off? Yeah, all right, great. Thank you so much. Mr. Trigger, you gonna stay with us?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Great, all right, thank you. Mr. Finley? Mr. Finley? Okay. I don't know. Good morning to you, Mr. Finley.
Good morning, neighbor.
Yes. I don't know if you heard my preamble this morning. I started out by pointing out to the listeners that the polarizing nature of our politics have really brought the politics down to the diehards, and that a 4-point lead for the Labour Party in this context, in my analysis, tells me that the party is in pole position to win an unprecedented third term. If not, I do not agree with Nationwide that the party is going to win just under 30 seats. I think this poll is a positive poll for the Jamaica Labour Party. What are your views?
Yeah, but, while I appreciate polling, I appreciate the work of the pollsters, as I said all the while, and I speak from the position of someone who have actually conducted these polls in the field. So I have knowledge of how they are conducted. But Jamaica, neighbor, elections are won on the day. Okay, you could have poll coming out of your ears. These elections in Jamaica are won on election day. You're right. It's because of the polarizing nature of the politics. Why it end up this way? Right. So while the poll is good news and the poll will motivate the Labour Party supporters to get up and go, it's election day will decide whether we are the government the day after that.
All right. So Mr. Finley, the party now, I suspect, will have to fine-tune its message to reach a certain demographic that is going to put them over the edge. Now let us look at, for example, the whole matter of poverty in Jamaica. The news coming out of the PIOJ last week suggests that the government has been able to cut poverty by half. Poverty is now 8.2% in Jamaica. As significant as that is, Chuck, do you think that that message has resonated sufficiently with the people, and what it is that the party is going to do to communicate this tremendous success? Because I believe that something like this ought to influence how people vote.
Well, here's the problem, neighbor, and I said this to you the last time, and we're going to have it again. The JLP faces a problem is that we, the Jamaica Labour Party, has to be putting out its own message. We are not getting any help from sections of the media. So something like this now that's supposed to be national news, it is being covered up basically by some section. I'm not gonna sugarcoat and say some section. It is being covered up by the largest news organization in the English-speaking Caribbean. You will not. It is easier to find a reputed Don on the front page than a headline that says poverty is down. That is the reality we are living in. Yes, you Richards, that is the reality. You Richards, have you seen that news on the front page?
No, you're gonna have to work with me. You see, Mr. Finley, and make you Richards, make Jamaica Girl handle the comments.
All right.
Yes.
No problem. But that is it. So the Jamaica Labour Party is in a very peculiar position where.
All right. So it is not only poverty that has gone down, Mr. Finley, but the government, to be fair to it, have also initiated a lot of social programs to benefit the poor. For example, the Jamaica Hope for Trust Children Fund. I don't hear anything about this, Chuck.
And there you go. You will only hear about this on social media and nowhere else. And these are initiatives that is geared towards breaking the chain of poverty. That's an initiative that is geared towards lifting people off what is called the PATH program. Right? There's no way the government can sustain the same people generation after generation on a program. You have to give them a way out. And this program now will break this cycle. So because your mother, your man comes to your mother on it, your grandmother was on it, doesn't mean you have to come and be on it. So the government has formulated this wonderful game-changing initiative that says, you're the next generation, we're giving you away after this PATH program. Hopefully, in the next 20 to 30 years, you can hear, nobody will be campaigning about increasing PATH benefit, but reducing it, because we'll have less people on it.
Foresight, why is this program, Foresight, not widely circulated in the Jamaican society? And do you agree with Mr. Finley that media is not pushing the message of the party? Do you think the party the party has a responsibility to highlight these things?
Exactly. Yes, neighbor. I think we're at a point now where it's quite clear to us that we cannot rely on the mainstream media or the traditional media to highlight the benefits, not necessarily of the government really, because it's not a party thing. This is a matter of national importance. If poverty is down, it's not a JLP business. It's a JLP and both JLP and PNP benefit. The country benefits from it really, right? So if the party knows that, I think the party should see it necessary to take more steps to get the information out, because this is a real, this is very, very a real benefit to the people. The Jamaica 60 Hope for Children Trust Fund, where any child from a PATH household that was born after August 6, 2022, right, and what of the state, will be eligible for somewhere between 600 to 800,000 on his or her 18th birthday. I think this is something that should be a very popular among people, and citizens in the country. This should be national news.
It is. So in contextualize, therefore, for me, Foresight, the whole matter of poverty being down by 8 points. Incidentally, I think that if the government did achieve nothing else, this achievement is extremely significant, Foresight. We have struggled with poverty in Jamaica, and for the government to have been able to reduce poverty by half, it is significant, Foresight.
Yes, quite a significant achievement, again, neighbor. And one of the problems, I think, and I don't think I am not sure if the party has recognized the importance of trumpeting these kind of messages, because I hear the party speak a lot about the macro issues, but too many of the common man in Jamaica are of the view that this government does very little or nothing for the poor. And I believe with an achievement like this should be amplified all across Jamaica, because while the government is actually performing, the people needs to be told, what the achievements are, what the benefits are, and how the government is really caring for them.
Yeah. Philippians?
Yeah.
Philippians, this reduction in poverty is not necessarily a Labour Party accomplishment? Is this not a national accomplishment? And even as we move into Jamaica's independence, I believe that this should be part of the discussion, that we have achieved this as a society, as a country. We have been able to bring poverty to almost, we are almost on the road to eliminating poverty. Is this not a national achievement?
Yes, it is. And, you know, it's also, I like that the current government is doing a lot to empower people, you know, because it don't just happen magically like that. It must be that the government is doing something to create this, to have created this reduction in poverty. But many are not looking at it like that, right? So when you have places like Standard and Poor and Fitch and Moody, they upgrading our standard of living and all of that. That shows that Jamaica is doing really good. It's a national effort, and it is because of this government why we have seen this reduction. People are now, you know, they're able to, also the minimum wage, so people are now able to earn more. That will help to reduce poverty, right? People can access more social services at the Ministry of Labour part, social pension,
50,000 jobs.
social pension, the reduction in unemployment. So of course it's natural that, you know, poverty would be cut in half as well.
Yes, fantastic. Mr. Finley?
Yes, sir.
Speak up a little for me, Mr. Finley. The benefits out of the National Housing Trust, and remember listeners, that it is very important that you stay tuned and listen where we are going with this, because many people focus on the 16,000 minimum wage, but they are not focusing, Finley, on the additional support that the government has put in place for the poor. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, but this government has...
So for example, Mr. Finley, when the government puts $1 billion into JUTC, that is precisely a benefit that the poor will enjoy. So it's less fear that they will have to pay.
Neighbor,
yes.
Let me say this. The problem, as I will put it this way to you again. The problem is that, neighbor, it is left up to the Jamaica Labour Party alone to communicate these things. Okay? So as you said, the government putting $1 billion into JUTC is to expand the services to the very poor. But what makes the headline in Jamaica is not the government get 100 bucks for JUTC, you know, is a member of the opposition come out and say, boy, I wonder why they have to buy so much yellow bus. And that becomes the headline, government buying too much yellow bus. You know, that is how our news media, so the news media that is supposed to be bringing message to the people. I'm not saying the media is supposed to advertise now, you know, but they are supposed to enlighten the people, say, this is what is happening, this is what this is where you can get that, this is what it means for you. But our present media circle is not doing that. So the Jamaica Labour Party now is basically have to find other means. Social media is what they have to turn to get the message out there, because the mainstream media, the largest media organization in the Caribbean, is decided to keep its mouth shut when it comes to things that can help.
My understanding, Mr. Finley, is that minimum wage workers can qualify for a house from the National Housing Trust. Is that true, sir?
For the first time in our history, yes, they are. Yes, they can.
Hold on, Mr. Finley. I've never. So you are saying to me that if I am working the minimum wage in Jamaica, which is $16,000, that I can qualify for a benefit from the National Housing Trust?
Yes, neighbor, that's exactly what I'm telling you, and I'm gonna show it to you now because we don't like this. This is
Put it in a big box, neighbor.
that you can increase this. What we are looking at here now is NHT website. Hold on, let me just scroll so people can see. This is not something I made up for myself. This is from the National Housing Trust. There you go. And that is the name of one of the schemes that is St. Catherine's Estate. Catherine's Estate. Now this is
So in hold on, Mr. Finley.
Yes.
In St. Catherine Estate. So if you are listening to us this morning and you work at a supermarket,
Yes.
one of those stores where the Chinese have, and you are getting a $16,000 every week, you can apply for a house, sir?
You can apply for a house. Now look at this.
So where would you get the deposit?
What does that say is the minimum weekly requirement?
Hold on.
Neighbor.
Where would you get the deposit?
Which deposit, neighbor?
Which deposit?
Because there's
But don't
no,
you need a deposit? You
don't need a deposit. You never
Hold on.
needed a deposit. So
Yeah,
when
you
man
know,
goes in,
Adam Simit speaks of the poverty aspirations. And if I should blame you guys, is that I think you have held on to this type of information from the public. The people ought to know.
Neighbor, we speak on these things every day, neighbor. Every day we speak on these things. But neighbor, NHT schemes are financed at 100% through the National Housing.
All right. So what you have there weekly income required, 13.5.
Minimum weekly required income, which is what? 13,500.
Yes, and then you pay 19,000 for your rent.
Then your mortgage should be 19,000.
So do they need a deposit to put down on this? Let's say they don't have any money.
No, neighbor.
neighbor,
This is
when
an
Mark
agency
Golden
scheme.
said that he would be giving $500 deposit.
Let's wait with that 500,000. We're gonna get there soon.
But NHT schemes are financed at 100%. You don't need a deposit.
You
Right.
don't need a deposit.
You don't need a deposit.
No,
100%.
No, neighbor.
Is this a policy of the current Andrew Holness administration? Holness has put this in.
yes, it has been in place for a long time now.
I think there is now, you see, these people neighbor, they would fall in a category that they are now zero rated. So there won't even be an interest payment on their loans. Yeah, this new zero rated category was created recently. So when you qualify at this, you will not even pay an interest on your loan.
People like me are
No, let me ask you a question.
For the first
To
time
what
in
extent?
history, neighbor,
To
for
what
the first
extent?
time in Jamaica, a minimum wage earner has been able to qualify for a home, an NHT home. And especially, notice that the 13.5 is even below minimum wage, neighbor.
Yes, so the person earning $60,000 would pay 19,000 for their mortgage per month.
Yes, neighbor.
But some of these people are paying huger sums than these for rent.
Yeah, some of these people are paying like $35,000 for rent.
And this is happening in a scheme in St. Catherine, sir. In St. Catherine.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one is
Catherine
different.
is
Catherine.
Neighbor, but I guess the problem is, neighbor,
What
because
is
of
the value?
meeting-
What is the value of the house? 7 million?
I think 7.5.
It's between 7.5 and 8.5. One bedroom.
It
two
not reach there,
bedroom,
so
one
I
two
don't think it reached 8.
Yeah, man. But these are for 7.5. Right?
No, there are people asking. There are people here. Hold on there. There are people here. There are people who are shocked that this is happening. Is this foresight? Let us see this scheme, sir. Are you? This is not propaganda.
This is not propaganda,
No,
but this is I'm actually on the NHT website right now. Let me show you.
Let us see that you're showing us the correct.
Here is your floor plan. Hold on, let me go back and show you the NHT website.
Neighbor, the fact that the PNP is hiding from the people, neighbor. But they won't highlight it, and we understand. But I'm just saying that these are the things that there are a number of persons, neighbor.
Yes, they
who
are.
just tell
Hold
themselves-
on there.
Go on.
So it's on the National Housing Trust website. And it is for low income earners, like minimum wage, 13.5. So if
I'm on the NHT website.
hold on for me. If you're earning 13.5, you can apply.
Yes.
There's no deposit. That's what I'm being told. There's no deposit.
No deposit. And there's another scheme in Manchester.
And the interest rate is 0%. There is no interest on it. No interest.
Right. No interest.
Kept secret in Jamaica. All right. So the people working with me are shocked. They are shocked. So tell me something then, Mr. Golding is saying that he's offering a $500,000 towards deposit for people who qualify for this. If that is so, then this deposit is not required.
It's not required there, but that's why you know, sir, these people are just engaged in
deception.
Yes.
Yes, so it's all about the deception and the propaganda to just nasty the government, but people are not listening to what the PNP is offering. First of all, they don't even find out what the government is offering. Them just run with the propaganda and them don't know what is going on in the country, and there's so much happening. There's so much to benefit you.
And that is how the PNP insult the intelligence of...
I was telling that there's another scheme in Montego Bay. There it is. It's called Estuary. Somebody giving me the name of it right there. It's called Estuary in St. James. It's another low-income scheme that goes under the same as this. So this is not just one scheme we have.
So what is the PNP? So this $500,000 that Mr. Golding, which I don't understand. I really want to understand. You are suggesting that the government have in place a policy that persons working below the minimum wage qualifies for houses under the NHT. They don't need a deposit. The interest rate is 0. Yes, and their mortgage payment per month is below $20,000. That is what you're saying.
Yeah, let me give you another one that's gonna shock you now. Let me tell you why Mark Gordon proposal about that is obsolete and not unnecessary. Now, the government also has another policy in place that says if you as a low-income earner, you're trying to buy a house and your salary does not cover the maximum amount that you need to buy this house, the NHT has a policy in place where you are given a grant of up to $3.5 million to assist with that purchase.
Mr. Finley?
If you as a low-income earner is buying a house through the NHT and your salary does not make you qualify for the full amount to buy that house, the NHT has a policy in place that you receive a grant of up to $3.5 million. And you know what is that grant, neighbor?
Grant is something you don't have to pay back. So let me ask you a question. Who qualifies for this? Is it the same category of low-income earners?
The same category of low-income earners. Category qualify for this grant. This is geared at making home ownership easier for low-income persons.
Neighbor, I personally know a garbage truck man.
What is the difference? Hold on, before you come in. What is the difference between this $3.5 million grant and the previous one that you told us about?
Which one is that?
All right. So if I am working $16,000 a month, a week, you are saying to me that there exists in government through the National Housing Trust houses available for me. I don't have to have any money.
No.
I don't need a deposit. All I need to do is to go into the National Housing Trust, apply for the loan, and my application would be considered. No question asked.
No question.
And I don't need a deposit.
You don't need a deposit.
I don't need a deposit.
You do not need a deposit. These are NHT schemes. They are financed at 100% through the NHT.
Okay. So when you say no, there is a grant of 3.5 million. Why would I need that grant? Or that's not for this category?
All right, now. So let's say you're a minimum. Let's say you're buying a house on the open market.
Oh.
Right? And that was valued at $11 million. But at NHT, you only qualify for 7 or 8. That grant then kicks in to cover.
Oh, so it's the NHT homes that you just spoke about. But yes. Then other developers are building houses.
Yes.
So if you want, so you could still be a minimum wage worker and buy a house on the open market, sir?
Yes, you can.
No, sir. Let us take a break here. No, I'm going to check something. Give me a minute. Give me. Even for me, this is. You know, people are telling me I'm getting all type of information here. Give me a minute.
Hold on, neighbor. I want everyone, please. I'm asking you to tap the screen and share live, please.
Yeah, it's a magic moment. It's a magic moment on this Saturday at 4 minutes to 11 o'clock. Bring me a drink. This is. Oh, Mr. Frankie Paul, eh? Can't you see how much I love you? Oh, it's a magic moment over to Frankie Paul Casanova, eh? Let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, we're here. We're back with you. All right. Listen to me. My information, listeners, is that the guests are correct, that there is information exactly as they're speaking. Mr. Finley?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Finley?
Yes, sir.
You're saying to us, sir, to my aghastment, really, that a minimum wage worker can get a house on the open market?
Yes, they can.
Then it is the poverty of aspirations, Mr. It is a poverty of information, then, Mr. Finley. Clearly, our people needs help.
Our people, neighbor, the sad truth is that our people gravitate. The very same persons, them, who don't know about this information, that are on their phones every day. I mean, myself, Philippians, Foresight, we speak on these things every day. But the truth is, people gravitate, people use their devices not to inform themselves, but to entertain themselves. And that is the gap.
There are many people out there, neighbor, who think right now, who sit and don't know that they can actually qualify for a house. And they will never check it out at the NHT because they will take the anecdotal information of the road.
Let me ask you a question. Is the PNP aware of this?
Yes, they are.
Do you think the PNP is aware of it?
Yes, they are. In fact, they majority.
The leader of the opposition would be aware of this, because then the leader of the opposition, in trying to address this matter, speaks of a $500,000 deposit. But you don't need a deposit.
Because he knows how people are, neighbor. He's relying on the persons. He's speaking to the persons who are ignorant and who might not walk into the NHT one day to find out what programs are, what benefits are available to them. He knows that. So he uses an opportunity to deceive the people. He's offering a $500,000 towards a deposit that is no longer required.
Yes, and am I correct, based on what I'm hearing, is that the NHT cannot sell house above 14 million?
No. That's not what the policy is. They can and they will, but the majority of their house now will be between the $8 and $14 million.
You in other words, they are building it so that the low income people can afford it.
Yes, but we also have to bear in mind that there are high-income persons who actually pays NHT and who deserves a benefit from the NHT also. So when they build somewhere like the Rookvent Towers for high-end contributors, we can't balance and say, oh, them only are built. No, that is far from the truth. And these are the kind of propaganda that has spread not just by PMP but by the top of that organization, which is Mr. Mark Gordon. So the Andrew Holness have instructed them to let us redouble our effort to focus on this spot between 8 and 14 million dollars. That is where the market is now. So that's where they're gonna focus, but there will still be high-end development. For
the benefit of those who are just joining, Mr. Finley, could you please restate these two social policies of the government as far as it relates to housing for low-income people, and because I think it is significant. Myself was not even aware, so I'm going to ask you just to restate them, sir, please.
All right. So the NHT has housing developments, not just in Kingston but in Montego Bay, and St. Thomas is coming on stream shortly for low-income persons. If you're a minimum wage earner, you can qualify for one of these houses in either St. Catherine Estate in Kingston or Estuary in Montego Bay, right? A minimum requirement is that you're earning $13,500 per week. Our minimum wage is $16,000. You will come in below minimum wage and you can qualify for one of these. However, if you are trying to purchase a house on the open market and the NHT qualification doesn't cover it, the NHT has a policy where you get a grant of up to $3.5 million to cover the difference. A grant, not a loan, but a grant. And if you are a minimum wage earner, you fall into the zero rated category of the NHT, which means that you do not pay an interest on your loan. And what I let me take this opportunity to rubbish another talking points of the PMP neighbor. The PMP will tell you that this house will sell for $7 million. You have to pay insurance on it, so it's going to bring up the cost to $10 million. That is a lie. Once you have a mortgage through the NHT insure that house for you. It's not coming out of your pocket. The NHT pays that insurance, and as long as you have your mortgage, it will be paid by the. And how do I know this? I know this without even going to the NHT policy, because I have a friend who bought his house from way back into probably the 80s, 90s. His mortgage today, neighbor, is about $2,000. And he now has the money, can go to NHT and pay it off. But he said, no, as long as I'm paying my mortgage, they're responsible for my insurance.
So clarify for me, sir, because the People's National Party, in looking at the housing challenges we have put on the table a $500,000 grant. What is that for? What is that for?
Well, if I was to give, I can only render what I assume that is for. Again, neighbor, the People's National Party, the party that gave us the biggest housing debacle we ever had, which is Operation Pride. Operation Pride was just them giving out money to people to do nothing. And I believe that is just another policy that they have announced publicly. And we see where they bring back the architect of Operation Pride and the political platform. And they are now speaking of reviving Operation Pride. So that $500,000 is just another Operation Pride offer to somebody who the PMP believe they owe something to, that will get them into office. That is simple what I think it is. It is not geared to helping anybody to own a house. It is not geared to helping any other.
I'm going to ask them, can you check the PNP's $500,000 grant proposal for me? I'm going to check that. All right. Yes, Mr. Finley. Let's move on. It's 8 minutes after 11 o'clock. Mr. Forsyth?
Yes, neighbor.
in addition to this housing, very impressive, I must tell you. Very, very, very impressive. I really would want to highlight this a little bit more. This is impressive. Sooner than later, we are going to tear down all zinc fences in Jamaica. Everybody will be living in concrete structures, and this is so important for like a country like Jamaica that is at risk to disaster. The government also, you ever go to the Sheen lines foresight across Jamaica and see how many people are there bringing things in?
The couriers, yes, neighbor.
Yes, I tell you, it's pretty lucrative. Is this something that the government has assisted them to do?
Yes, it was this government, neighbor, that had provided Jamaicans, had offered Jamaicans $100 allowance for persons to bring in items duty free that falls.
How much you say? How much you say?
$100.
Where was it before?
It was 50, and the government has doubled it. Nigel Clark had doubled it, I think, some 2-3 years ago, to 100 now. So persons shopping online are now able to bring in items that cost under $100 free from paying duty. Neighbor, you notice you don't hear a lot of persons complaining these days about bringing inexpensive items and paying an arm and a leg. That was a pain point for many Jamaicans, back some time ago. But since Nigel Clark has increased that that duty-free allowance to $100, right? Then you'll find that it would have provided a lot of Jamaicans shopping online with relief. So you don't hear much complaints about, I just bought.
But the government gets no credit. The government gets no credit from this for this.
And that is why, neighbor, my complaint is that more needs to be said about these.
So every young person going to Sheen this morning to pick up their package with their toys, their roses, their
Hold on, we don't know about toy and roses. We're collecting clothing items,
yes,
and shoes.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes. You don't pick up roses.
No.
Flowers, I'm talking.
Neighbor, there's also an increase in the what them call the diminutive tax. That is what you pay when you're traveling. It has been increased from.
That's the inbound. We soon get there. But let me just say something more about the 100.
Yes, Alicia say yes. She picks up her toys.
Yeah.
Well, don't discount the toys. I understand that more toys are coming to Jamaica these days than any other Caribbean island. I don't know what's happening to the Jamaican men. The Jamaican ladies are buying out all the sex toys abroad. We're going to have to talk about that a little bit. so all of these women going to Sheen, going to to collect their bags this morning, they are directly benefiting from a government policy.
Yes, neighbor, and it's per order. So
every time they order, they can order up to $100.
Once the order is, yes, once the order is below $100 or below, they won't be required to pay any duty on it. They would only need to pay they won't be required to pay the government charges.
Do these people know that the government has done something for them, foresight? Because really, this is something that the government would have. This is a direct benefit because of government policy.
Thousands of people who shop online now, and it's very popular in Jamaica. And separate apart from that, neighbor, do you know, neighbor, that anytime, as a Jamaican, if you take a trip overseas, every time you return to Jamaica, the government gives you $1,000 duty-free allowance.
No. What you say about $1,000?
Separate apart from the $100 that you're talking about, for persons who take trip abroad, every time they return to Jamaica. So if you take a trip 3 times, 2 times, if you take a trip 2 times abroad, that's $2,000 upon when you return to Jamaica.
That means that I could bring in a TV, a laptop.
Yes,
even a living room suite,
Neighbor, I
set
personally know
tea with the
people who have
armchair and
furnished
everything.
people who travel like 2-3 times a year. I know people who have used that allowance to furnish their houses, neighbor.
Yes.
$1,000?
Every time they
Yes, to
return.
buy to furnish your living room.
If
your
you travel
kitchen.
3 times a year, that's $3,000 US. Because each time you go up and return to Jamaica, you get $1,000 US.
So
worth
if
of
I am
allowance.
in Miami and I want to come down, I can put in $1,000 worth of things in my suitcase and I wouldn't be charged when I come into Kingston?
They can buy a 65-inch TV, neighbor, and bring a microwave. And once the total is below 1,000, you only pay 1,500 Jamaican dollars to clear it. That's all it is.
So what if I want to bring in an expensive doll?
Oh,
Yes, sir. Once it's under 1,000 US, neighbor, you pay only 1,500 to clear it.
Under 1,500 Jamaican dollars?
No, once it's under 1,000 US dollars, once the items you purchase abroad falls under 1,000 US dollars, you only pay 1,500 Jamaican dollars to clear it.
What is it that you are saying to me, Foresight?
You're saying that you have a government that is working.
The only items that are not included is like if you have I think you don't like if you bring a toilet or so. That won't be included. But
neighbor, you
but you
want
wanna-
your to break?
But if
Let
it's
us get some taps on the screen.
No,
If
this
you
is-
can send some gifts and share the live out,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Send up some taps,
Oh, this
guys.
is
Send up
fantastic.
some taps. You know, hold on there, neighbor. Well, hold on. We have less than 20K taps. Guys, we need to get to
Call every girlfriend, make we roll out this magic moment. So high up on the moon, the DJ make your body go. Dreams are there to come through. Sure feels like some love you. So high up on the moon, the DJ make your body go. Dreams are there to come through. Sure feels like our honeymoon. Every man grab a girl we are. Here pretty in us in no dead stock. Kick to the top, make your bum very dark. Find for a boy, make him a come back.